Video games have a ton of hidden features, so thanks to Top 5 Gaming, we're about to watch the 75 best hidden details in video games.
Watch Dogs 2, there's a remote control car you could drive around, which is pretty
Dude,
fun.
I remember playing
But go
Watch
near any
Dogs.
dog and this happens.
That's strange.
It was actually a really
On the
good
streets of
game,
Red
but I
Dead
don't know
2,
why it
you might
didn't
come
take
across
off.
This blind man asking for money, but don't feel bad for him just yet.
Okay, I ain't really blind. Just take it easy.
One of the most
Bro,
hilarious
he was
details has
capping
gotta
the
be in
whole
Metal Gear
time?
Solid 5. If you let your horse do a number 2 on the road, any vehicles that come along will slide on it and spin out.
What is that goofy spin? What?
Released in 2021, you get a look inside Franklin's room and see this poster. Seems normal, but
You
this is
own
actually the
Los
same one
Santos.
from his house in 2013, but now he cut and rearranged the words to say he owns
Oh.
Los Santos now. One part of the Family Guy game references real life in a genius way. To deal with the borders of a map, devs usually put down hidden barriers.
True.
But in Family Guy, they added a mime pretending there's an invisible
That's-
wall.
I remember this. That was
And it
actually
turns out
really
the creators
smart.
of Yakuza 7 really missed a huge opportunity when it came to the button layout. A fan suggested they change more to etc. so the letters would spell out Sega, and of course, the devs added it
Nice.
in a future update. If you're roaming the valley around Hogwarts, make sure you listen out for any dragons, because these guys could swoop
Yoink.
down and abduct a cow at any moment. One of these smallest details is from Naughty Dog when they went back to update the scales for The Last of Us. In the original, these things did absolutely nothing. But when the remake
now
came
you
around,
can-
we finally got to weigh Joel and found out he's around 200 pounds.
200 pounds. He's beefy then,
And in
bro.
Sleeping Dogs, there's always a way out of your car. If your door is blocked, your character will switch seats. But if you can't use either one, Way will just break out through the front window. One item in
What?
Call of Duty is so realistic, but most players will never notice.
Okay, what is
Black
it?
Ops 2, the tactical insertion allows you to choose a respawn point, which isn't the most realistic device, but pay attention to the coordinates on the small screen. When playing maps set in France, Los Angeles, or Singapore, the
Oh, it
numbers
shows
on
the actual
screen are
coordinates.
actually the real-life coordinates of where you're standing. In Assassin's Creed Odyssey, if you sink a boat or get rid of some loose ends in the water, soon hungry predators will come for the free buffet. Red Dead 2,
Well, can I be honest? I'm scared of sharks, like in video games and in real life.
you'll notice this rock sculpture being built in real time. Well, if you load into Red Dead 2 Story, which takes place after, the same statue has now been fully completed. There's also an amazing secret with the music in Tony Hawk's Underground 2. Normally, you have the
Oh, I remember
soundtrack
playing this,
blasting while
man, on the
skating around,
GameCube.
but that all changes the second you enter the library. Modern Warfare 2 also has some serious attention to detail. Inside of the museum, take a closer look at the magazines on the statues and you will notice they're all airsoft and BB mags, not actually real bullets. One design that only true comic fans will notice is hidden in Marvel's Spider-Man. When Electro shows up, his face scars aren't just a random addition to his character, they are actually inspired by his original comic book outfit. The Squatch Games took it one step further by adding a secret
Was
that
this game
lasts
any
almost
good? I remember
2
people were going
hours.
crazy over
Now
it,
in
but
life, you can purchase a warp disc to spawn in a movie theater, giving you the achievement, we paid for the rights to put a whole movie in the game.
No,
Did
did they actually?
You can watch the entire 90 minutes of Demon Wind.
What?
Not the only free ticket, because if you ever find yourself stranded at sea in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, NPCs will come along and give you a ride back to shore.
Nice.
One thing you don't want to encounter are the bears in Red Dead 2, but luckily there is a way to avoid them. If you've come across a black bear charging at you, simply just stand your ground and they will leave you alone just like in real life.
wait. Just like in real life, not all the times. Just let's make that clear.
Stray holds a
game
hilarious
was
secret
great.
for anyone who owns a cat. We all know how they love to run across keyboards and type out nonsense, and now you can do this yourself as a cat.
Nah. That's great.
Insurgency Sandstorm takes its details so seriously that you can literally go deaf. Fire the 50 cal sniper repeatedly, and your character will get blurred vision and hearing loss.
Okay, can I be honest? When video games have this much realism, it's not, I don't like it. Like, there's no way I'm going deaf while shooting a 50 cal.
Maybe you would rather
No.
save your bullets, and it turns out Metal Gear Solid 2 will actually notice. In the opening tutorial, you always shoot one time, but skip this and you'll have an extra bullet when you start playing. In the Animal Crossing store, you can purchase your very own Nintendo Switch, but this price of 29,000 bells
What?
isn't random. It is the exact same price as the console in Japanese yen. And if you do own a Switch, there's a secret that you could find outside the game. On the Pro Controller, move the thumbstick all the way down, and you could see, thanks to all the game fans. A nice
That's actually
little
pretty pretty
review,
cool.
with swinging around in New York City, the devs wanted to make sure you stuck to being the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. So when you launch enemies off a roof, they'll automatically be webbed to the side of the building.
I think that's a little silly. Some of the things that I've done to the people in the Spider-Man game, there's no way they made it home.
Saving them from the fall. In Bayonetta, whenever you shoot while standing still, your weapon will automatically fire holes in the shape of a bee from the logo and a cute little heart.
Nice.
Even games without first person take extra care doing things you wouldn't normally see. In GTA 4, the helicopter interior has a hilarious warning that reads, "This helicopter might crash, but we don't really care if it does. Refer to flight manual for help." It also seems that Battlefield 5 doesn't care if you get injured either, because there's a super rare chance that when you reload the M1 Garand, your finger will get caught in it. Of course, this has happened to so many people that have actually used this gun in real life. Something everyone can relate to is sweating, and the devs of Max Payne 3 went to the next level with this one. Throughout the course of Mission 3, you can watch his shirt get increasingly soaked as time goes on.
That's why my FPS is crashing?
Perhaps one of the craziest features is the difficulty in Crisis. With most settings, enemy soldiers will speak broken English, letting you understand their attack plan and callouts. Play on Delta and they'll literally use Korean, leaving anyone who doesn't know the language with no chance.
What if you speak Korean?
Try and hop on a broom in Lego Harry Potter, and you'll find that each character is accurate to the lore.
Bro, when are we gonna get the Lego Fortnite collab, man? I'm so excited for
He
that.
can barely get off the ground, just like in the movies. Something as simple as sound travel is rarely seen in most games, which is why it's pretty crazy when a bomb strike occurs in Black Mesa and the delay really happens.
That's cool.
In Half-Life, you could come across an ordinary bottle of WD-40, or so we thought. Step closer and read the label where instead it's
Anus.
called, yeah.
You what?
As you rise to the top in GTA San Andreas, each piece of clothing will actually increase in price, just because they know you can afford it. In Uncharted 4, if you zoom into the bathroom mirror as Drake, you'll start playing finger guns with his reflection.
This is me every time I wake up.
Up on the tram in Hollow Knight, and you'll hear music playing while you wait. But if you're not a fan, you can get up and destroy the speakers.
What? I wish you could do that at all the heist POIs.
Just don't break your back in Spider-Man, because if Miles swings and falls to the ground, you'll actually leave skid marks and imprints.
Skid
Pretty
marks?
embarrassing when
Jeez.
you land face first in the snow. Probably end up in a similar situation if you held onto the rocket in Call of Duty Cold War. When you inspect the IC-5B rifle, instead of holding it up like normal, it'll take off. Roll around as BB-8 in Star Wars Battlefront 2, and you'll start to pick up dirt and cover the poor guy. Well, don't worry, if you drive through some water, it'll wash off instantly. So now you probably need to clean yourself up in Cyberpunk as well. Across the ground, you might find paint cans or milk cartons, but if you punch these, they'll explode, splattering all over the place. If you leave dead animals lying around instead, at least the local wildlife will clean up for you. In Assassin's Creed Odyssey, wolves and vultures will appear just to feast on the deer you have taken out. And there's one terrifying secret in Project Zomboid that is pretty hard to spot. The menu screen normally shows Bob holding his wife, but wait for long enough,
Oh
and
my
lightning will
God,
strike,
he's a
revealing he's already a
zombie.
zombie
No
eating her.
way.
It's Red Dead 2's background NPCs.
What's
and
going
a lot
on?
more detail going into this railroad than
Yo,
you might think.
yo,
If you watch the
yo.
workers hammering the nails, you could actually see them make progress, and when they finish, they even move on to the next one. But if you're making side bets in NFS Unbound, you might be confused why Yumna doesn't offer any. That's actually because her religion forbids gambling. So the devs made sure to add this detail
Attention
when
to
making her
detail,
character.
man. That's
If you decide
crazy.
to customize Spider-Man, it won't be just you that notices.
Haram,
Equip the
man.
Spider-Punk outfit, and soon enough, J. Jonah Jameson will broadcast from the Daily Bugle with a hilarious rant.
Some sort of punk rock inspired thing that makes sane people want to tear out their eyeballs with a
I can't wait for Spider-Man 2, bro.
In Overwatch, you might think the decorations around the map are useless, but shoot the button on the water fountain and it actually sprays. There is an eerie detail you could only spot when using heat vision in Splinter Cell HD. After killing an enemy, you could watch as their body temperature slowly fades before going completely
Bro,
cold.
some of this is actually crazy. You don't think about this stuff when you're making a video game.
So if you manage to survive getting shot, you probably expect a scar, and the devs of Cyberpunk made sure to not miss this. So when you first meet Panam, her waist is normal, but after getting hit, you can see the mark from the bullet wound. And the Lego Forza collab has a crazy hidden detail. There's brick cars you can drive
Lego
around,
Forza?
and when you enter your garage, you'll see them listed under Denmark because that is where Legos are made. If playing Job Simulator, you might feel tempted to sit on the photocopier. While it doesn't let you do that, you can try and copy your head, but instead of a photo, you'll get an entire brain. Another game with the most
What?
detailed levels is Hitman 3. In the opening Dubai mission, you can find a keypad that needs a code to enter, but if you're immature, you might find yourself typing 69 in here, where Agent 47 says,
ho, ho, ho.
it gets even better. Type 47 and you get this.
Perfect.
Now I have to talk about Breath of the Wild. I have played hundreds of hours of this game and never knew you could get sunburn. It happens if you're in the desert for too long, but did you know it goes further than this?
Sunburn?
It turns out the level of sunburn is capped at 4%, but players like Postposters decided to remove the limit, and here's what it looks like as you gradually increase all the way to 100%. Yeah, no wonder they capped it. There is also a way to figure out Link's accurate weight in Tears of the Kingdom. Some players managed to create a working scale, and by placing 10 apples on the other side, you could discover that he weighs exactly that.
Bro weighs 10 apples? Hit the gym, bro. Start bulking. What are you on about?
Guardians of the Galaxy was one of the most underrated games of 2021, and it's full of non-combat zones where you literally can't shoot. Well, if you're a psycho who loves to pull the trigger anyway, Star-Lord pulls out a different weapon.
His handguns, really?
Over in Hitman Sapienza level, you could find a boat in the distance, which most players would ignore. It's just a decoration, right? But if you look even closer with the sniper rifle, there are 4 bells. Once you shoot them in order of their pitch, you have now doomed everyone on the ship.
What the hell? See, what's crazy is like the developers actually spent time making something like this that was going to be ignored by 99% of the players. This is like baller, man.
Gears of War 2 is just as random, but you have to be playing on insane difficulty to unlock it. When you head to this room in Act 4, Chapter 5, there's a pillar in the center. It doesn't look shootable, right? Well...
I was looking for this.
If you're wondering, yep, that's a toaster, and yes, it works.
What does it give you?
Who wants toast?
Now in Spider-Man Miles Morales, there are so many iconic Easter eggs, but no one talks about Miles' neighbors. Outside his apartment building, you could use photo mode to look at the residence list and see Freddy and Jason covered in blood, Andy and Buzz from Toy Story, and then Waldo, who is hidden underneath a different name. I just love the detail.
Nice.
Moving it to Rise Son of Rome, you would never believe this game is from 2013. But graphics aside, it's also full of secrets. If you hop on the Scorpio in Chapter 7,
The graphics are crazy
pillars,
for
all of a
2013.
sudden, a huge Emperor Nero will appear out of nowhere.
What the hell?
This is so exciting!
If you thought that was strange, I'm about to bring up Family Guy, so you already know it's about to get 10 times weirder. And back to the multiverse, they wanted to make a farm realistic, so they threw in a cow being milked just a little too well.
Oh, I like it! Oh, that's so good!
No wonder why there hasn't been a Fortnite Family Guy collab
Now
yet.
this is a reference to the show, but let's be honest, the joke is funny even without the context. But I especially love Starfield's insane attention to detail. On Mars, you can find a live counter of how many hours have gone by without an incident. It's a funny decoration for anyone who isn't a psycho. Now if you hate playing by the rules, you can easily pull out your gun and cause a huge scene only to look up and the counter has instantly reset to 0. Back in 2020, Left 4 Dead 2 got a new update called The Last Stand and completely remade a classic survival map from the first game. This time around though, every person who worked on the update got to add their own Easter egg. One of the best is hidden in an incredibly secret room that can only be accessed with a melee weapon. Hit the door repeatedly and it'll break open, revealing a dead developer.
Bro, he's so overworked he put himself in the game.
Game too much and he's surrounded by the credits of everyone who helped make the update. And so yeah, I guess you could say they left this guy for dead. Alright, that was a little cringe. Let's move on to Hitman 2, which has an amazing secret. In the Ark Society mission, you can find a side character who's a famous treasure hunter. This is Blake Nathaniel, who has enough power to command the butlers around, and that is exactly what you need. Use this disguise to lead the butler into the freezer and then lock him inside. He says,
Exactly what happened to Cousin Winston.
which is a reference to Tomb Raider 2. As Lara Croft, you can lock her butler Winston in the freezer too. Not to
Nice.
mention, once you've done this in Hitman, you unlock a secret escape that lets you dolphin dive just like Lara Croft.
What?
Watch Dogs 2 has a suspicious looking car in Lakeside Park. It's locked behind a gate, but once you get in there, you'll realize this is a parody of the famous Jeep
Why
from
did Bo
Jurassic
just do a
Park.
backflip?
Maybe you're thinking it's a coincidence, right? Beat the horn. Another great secret involves the wedding dress in Super Mario Odyssey. It seems like a funny outfit to wear with no real consequences, but if you go up to Luigi while wearing it, he takes it seriously. Bro, you're getting married and you didn't tell me? FNAF Security Breach recently got a huge update, the Ruin DLC. As you're
I've
exploring the
never
abandoned
played
plaza on
Five
your own,
Nights at
there's a sewer
Freddy's,
cast
and I have
nearly
no
gets
idea
crushed
what
by
it's
an
even about.
elevator, and her reaction might
I feel like
sound
I should.
familiar.
That was too close. I was almost a Cassie sandwich.
If you played Resident Evil, you'll know exactly what this is referencing.
That was too close. You were almost a Jill sandwich.
That's still not as funny as Crysis 2's Porta Potty. In the remaster, you can find this portable toilet, which is impressively bulletproof. It doesn't mean it's not occupied, though.
Come on, leave me alone!
So now if you're feeling extra cruel, you can even take this a step further.
What?
That's just messed up. That's unlike Gears of War 5, which has a super relaxing Easter egg. If you wait long enough on this balcony in Act 2, you'll eventually see the world's tiniest ice skating routine.
Why are they moving like that? What's going on here?
One of the smartest ways to stop people leaving the map is through hidden enemies. Instead of invisible walls, High on Life has sandworms that send you back in the boundaries. Yeah,
That
not
is
the kind of
creepy.
sandworm I was expecting. I can't tell if it's crying like a baby or if they're trying to do the voice from Dune. But over in Shadow Complex, the entire game has you on a rescue mission to save your girlfriend. She gets abducted near the start, and you gotta track her down. But right after that cutscene
Classic.
happens, you technically don't have to save her. I mean, just turn around, right? Head back to your car, and you'll unlock a secret ending where you basically admit it's not your problem.
Plenty of fish in the
What? That's an
strangest
actual
secrets is
thing? No way.
In Chapter 4, there's a wall covered in bottles, and once you shoot all 5, it will summon your very own army of sheep. The best part is they're really dedicated to taking down enemies.
Whoa, what? They're pulling up on him? What?
Another explosive character is in the Suffering Ties That Bind. For a psychological horror, it's the last place you'd expect to find this Easter egg. If you head into the pawn shop Bloody Bathroom, there's a series of objects you can interact with, kind of like a cheat code. Whether it's flicking the lights or turning on the sink, once the code is activated, nothing happens. Well, that's until later in the level when you see a cracked wall. Yeah, it's the Kool-Aid Man if he was 70 years old and an alcoholic. And yes, you do get a reward for killing him, his cocktail stick. And trust me, this thing is insane.
They don't do stuff like that anymore in video games.
Everyone can get behind a SpongeBob reference every now and then. One of my favorite Easter eggs is his idle animation in Truth or Square. But it's not just SpongeBob games where you'll find a secret. Head to the graveyard in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands and you'll find a skeleton with a soda hat on. Of course, this is a reference to Smitty Werberman Jensen, who was buried with a similar hat.
He was number
That was
Another
my favorite
underrated
episode.
secret is in Black Ops 2. It has been so long since this game released that no one remembers the Simpsons Easter egg on Meltdown. Of course, this map is a power plant, and when you head to the control room, you'll find Homer's famous box of pink donuts on the panel. Now we have LEGO Marvel's Avengers, a game that went totally under the radar along with its details. If you pick the Hulk, you'll transform like this, which is to be expected unless
cool.
you pick the 1977 version. Now his transformation is a layer of spray paint as a reference to the film's low budget. And to make it even better, he then gets hosed down by Stan Lee. And did you know that you could beat We Happy Few in literally 2 minutes? This game's story is all about not taking your pills, but you could just ignore that and swallow them down at the very beginning and boom, roll credits. If you choose to actually play the games you bought though, then check out Sin episodes. Head down to the security room and use the desk to climb over the fence. Most people would have no idea you could do this, but there's no invisible wall, you can just walk right over. Well, turn the corner and you're rewarded with bobbleheads. It is the whole main cast vibing while staring right at you. And this really reminds me of one of the best secrets in Team Fortress 2. On the Rotunda map, you can find an exit door that's sealed shut. Well, that's unless you enable no-clip and head straight through. Who would have thought a blue heavy and red engineer would get along so well? Another secret that was found outside the map is in the Talos Principles DLC.
I'm getting like ideas on like what Easter eggs to add in my future Fortnite maps.
Use this
and
box,
Project
which
V.
looks suspiciously like a companion cube, and you can jump into a secret area. Up these stairs, you can now peek over the wall to find a turret from Portal.
Where am I? I must be in the wrong game.
Yo, shout out to T5G for these 75 hidden details. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content.